Good evening, everybody. Namaste. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Nice to see some new faces as well, like, different faces from Tuesday's class. So that's really nice. And I just want to welcome you all to this series. And Jen, for joining us really for the first time in the online program. So welcome, and I hope you get a lot out of it. I find the online stuff is really good. So, we just roll out of our own bed or roll in home and roll out our mat, and there we are. So, all right. So as you know, this series, a 6-week series, is on passion, purpose, and peace. And I've picked this because actually I've been really working on these themes for myself and my personal life for, I would say, some time now. I mean, you could say years, yeah, sure, but redirecting, redefining what these things are for me, particularly passion and purpose over the last year or 2 years, or I guess even the last 4 or 5 years, as my life has started to be redirected. But now we are in that porthole of change. And I mean, we're really in the thick of some massive shift in humanity. And so for me, if we haven't already started redefining ourselves, redefining what's important to us, redefining what our passions are, and therefore what our purpose is, then, we may be a little sleepy because there's no way you can't be changing in this. The earth is changing, the energies is changing, humanity is changing. We are changing. And for me, it's been very clear that most people are really going, what the fuck is this all about? What the fuck is my life about? What is going on, and how are we behaving, or how are we interacting with life, with our life, with the planet, with each other? Is becoming really clear. There's some misalignments going on. And so redefining. So for these 3 subjects for me, or these 3 themes or whatever, they really interweave together. They are something that works together as a unit. So passion is something that fuels us, is something that ignites our motivation, our drive, our enthusiasm, our interest. So when we have passion for something, and passion for me, I'm not talking just, oh, you have this one thing, right? And that's it, that's your passion. What a load of bullshit that is, right? Because how many little things can strike our interest? Our passion can be our purpose in terms of livelihood and what we do, and how we really move in the world. But our passions can be that, and maybe there's a bunch of little things, or maybe our passions are fed through our hobbies, through our family, through the people that we love, through our pets, through our gardens, through our kitchen, through our home. There's many different ways that we may be expressing our passions. Maybe we don't even realize that we're passionate about something until, of course, it's taken away. Passionate about our freedoms, right? We're passionate about certain things, and now we're really igniting that and realizing, oh, this is important to me. So to begin to actually understand your main passion, yeah, sure, what really is driving you is good. But I'm curious about what are all these sideline passions as well that are going on, the things that actually fuel you in different ways. And if you don't really have a number of little filtering passions that water your life, that nourish you in different ways, then I say, look, start looking, because we can't, I'm really into this, no eggs in all our eggs in one basket anymore. And that can be financially, spread yourself, because really we don't know what's going on, right? But that goes to say the same for creating any type of wealth in our life, and the wealth and the richness and the depth that life can give us. Once we have our passions, and I do recommend that if you want this is an asana class, and I'm talking a little bit more at the beginnings, you know, of some of these, so we get clear on what I'm really trying to help you to understand and to really contemplate and draw out in your life, then take some time to journal or contemplate, even if it's just a mental meditation, or journaling is really, really good. And just get clear, what is passion to me? What am I passionate about in my life right now? And how is that driving my actions? So that's good to begin to, even if, okay, you can do some journaling, but if you don't, then just begin to notice during the week when you're like having conversations and you're sparked. Like, wow, I want to know more about that, or I've got a lot to say on that, or that pisses me off, right? Any of those big responses, spark, suddenly you're up, your eyes wake, and you want in. They're your passionate points. So begin to really notice what's striking you online, like in social, what's striking you in conversation, even on telly, or what you read, a book that might be, you know, beginning to flush out some new interest or some new like level of awareness on where you're at and what you're passionate about. And we're going to just do 2 weeks of each theme. So the first 2 weeks, we're going to focus our attention on the passion of our life. What is fueling our passion? And then we'll work that into how that passion is fueling our action and our purpose. So passion, as we know, comes from the heart. It's instigated, it's emanated, it evolves from the heart. So we're going to do some heart opening. So I have set this up already. So if you don't have a bolster, please find maybe some big cushions or some folded big towels or blankets that you can make. It doesn't have to look exactly like that, just that I do have all the gear. So that's what I'm doing. And we're going, and we're going to start with Skupta Konasana. I'm going to also, hang on, I need this one over here so I can see you guys. I'm going to also put a blanket, because I do have the bolster, is quite a big dip for my lower back. I'm going to have a folded blanket underneath, and I'm also going to have another couple of cushions, which could be couple of folded rugs or something for you to support my knees on my legs. And on top of it, to make it the creme of the creme of the creme, I've got my little flattened cushion that I'm going to put in under my head. So I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together, let my knees fall out, and then let my thighs and knees be supported by something. So when I go to rest back with these legs, I don't start quivering or get super uncomfortable. And I'm going to put a little something under my head. So my head is just slightly raised above my chin. So take your time, and if you're watching this and recording, you can always press pause and, you know, get set up and then come back after that. Okay, I'll just set up that video so it's a little bit better. Right, once you're in, you're in. But do take your time to get nice and comfortable. And warm as well, because though it's been exceptionally warm winter throughout August, it is cooling down in the evening here. So be warm, and we will be sitting here for, well, 5 or 10 minutes, I guess, so not hugely long. I want you to place the back of your hands onto the floor and just really allow those shoulders to drop open on either side of the bolster. Hopefully your forearms, elbows can reach the floor. Depending on your setup, that might happen really, really easily. Or if you do need a little bit of extra support, and if you've got any other props, you can put them underneath your hands or arms. to give that extra bit of support. Looks like everybody's getting in. Yeah, beautiful, Jen. That looks so comfy. Fantastic. Lengthen the back of your neck a little bit so you're super comfortable. Lengthen the tail down and little curl under so the lower back is nice and long. And then just let everything settle. And we can begin by, excuse me, taking a few deepened breaths in through the nose and releasing the breath out through the mouth. Let your whole body begin to relax and melt from those exhalations. Can you imagine words, thoughts, and images also flowing out of the mouth with the exhalation so we can begin to become really clear through the mind? After a while, your heart breathing through the mouth can just naturally fade away. And we can just simply reseal the lips. And begin to continue a slightly deepened breath. And I'd like you to imagine that as you're breathing in and out, you can breathe in and out from the chest center itself, from the heart center. So breathing directly in through your sternum. And as you inhale, really feel the heart center begin to expand gently. Creating as much space as possible in the chest area, but in the energetic heart center. In yoga, it's called Anahata, heart chakra. And as you continue to breathe in and out from this area, it's beginning to notice what shows up for you, what the experience is for you there. You may find some resistance. It may feel hard or perhaps very contained or contracted or tight. Just let it be. If that's the case for you, just let it be. And just continue to breathe lovingly, caringly into the heart center. You might, if you're finding some hardness, some contraction, either you're breathing into that hardness and trying to just soften it out with each exhalation, or filling up the heart space into the boundary of it, and then just pausing at boundary with paused inhalation. Softly pausing there, not with big efforts. And then melting the exhalation out and seeing if the boundary can dissolve a little. If your experience is one of expansion, flow, openness, just breathe into that and enjoy the experience And still you can perhaps expand further and further out with that energy, perhaps covering your whole energetic self with the heart energy. Just working with where you're at. And you can either continue to breathe slightly deepened breaths into the heart space, or you can allow the natural breath to take over. And either way, I'd like you to begin to feel into what it perhaps feels like for your heart, for your body to be filled with a sense of passion. Perhaps there's something in particular you want to bring to mind, but maybe just the word itself, just the idea of what passion is to you. As you breathe in a sense of passion into your heart space, into your body. And let the exhalation just flush through your entire system. And just begin to notice what passion feels like in your body. How can you begin to really recognize the feeling of passion? Begin to allow your awareness to explore the wholeness of your body, and you may like to start with the features of your face. And notice how the experience of imagined passion expresses itself in the features of your face. How does passion feel in your arms, in your hands? How does passion feel in your belly? In your pelvis, and even in your yoni and down your legs. Just let it be soaked into the body, letting go of any sort of direction of imagination. So just letting everything go and coming back to a neutral state. And just feeling into how the body then feels. So to be passionate is really wonderful and really fueling and motivating. But at the same time, we also need to let it go, let it flow, because it can be a little exhausting. That high level of energy, that high level of vibration can sometimes tax us. So we need to learn to let it flow and lift us, and let it go and complete us, to rest us. And you can begin to just allow the head perhaps to drop down to one side, stretch into that other side of the neck. Taking a couple of breaths as you're there. And then turning the head to the opposite direction when you're ready. Taking a couple of breaths there. And as you're finished there, just bringing your head back to the center, lifting your hands off the floor and just allowing a little bit of play through the wrists. In both directions. And then you can place the hands down on either side of your back or the bolster or whatever, and press up. If you don't need to move to see, then you don't need to move to see. But because the camera is on a different angle, I'm just going to move my blanket so that I can be in direct line with you. I work with two things. So it's camera there, people there. So it may not look like I'm looking at you. Oh, well, I'm not. I'm mostly looking at the camera. But when I'm not looking at it, I see you there, Robin. I see your fingertips occasionally. All right, so we're just in a comfortable seated position. You could, if you like, still have some support of your things here, if that feels more comfortable for you in a cross leg. Otherwise, you can just sit. I'm sitting on the blanket just to give myself that little bit of extra oomph. And we're just going to start off by swaying gently from side to side, releasing the spine a little bit. And I think when passion is played out well, there's a fluidness to it. Passion can look different in different circumstances. So even anger is a form of passion. And so that's not always so fluid. It's a little sharp, a little hard in action, in the physical as well as in receiving. But when we're in a nice alignment of passion, it has a fluidity and flow and gracefulness to it, I believe. And then we're just going to have a couple of little circles, and you might like to place your hands on the knees in support. As you roll, really as if the chest itself is making little circles. And then change the direction. And then just winding yourself into the center. You might like to place your fingertips on your shoulders. I'm not going to do it with this left arm. I've got an injury, so I'm not really going to show it on that arm, but some nice full circles through the shoulders. I'm just going to do it with the shoulders so that they can both do the same thing, but I think it's nice with their fingers on the shoulders. Nice full expressions of the rotations, and then change the direction after 3 or 4 goes and repeat that. Lift the head for this, lift the head, yeah, so we're really in nice alignment still, yeah. And then when you're finished there, just allow the head to roll down and around in circles. So really releasing all that area that contains not just our heart, but the way that our heart and head align together. This alignment of head and heart, really important for passion and purpose. So we're just really trying to iron out the creases here for any disconnects. And change the direction if you haven't already done so. Coming back to the center. Hands out on either side. We take an inhale as we lift the left arm up. And as we exhale over to the right, you can bend that right arm if that's helpful for you to really get in, but really land down in that left hip, that left thigh, and just allow as you pin that left hip down, to really reach out into the left hand, breathe into the left ribs. Draw that left shoulder away from the ear and the shoulder blade down the back a little. So there's a sense of spaciousness still there. And that will be the same for the right shoulder, actually. Whichever way you go, I guess it doesn't matter. So we're going to inhale, pin the left hip sit bone down and reach into those left fingers. And then exhale, drop the left hand to the right knee. And then we simply inhale to lengthen up through the center and exhale to turn to the right. Turn the chin to sit over that right back shoulder. The right hand just sitting behind buttocks. And taking a few nice deep breaths there as you lengthen up through the center line. And then as you next inhale, ride it up the spine, lengthen up from tail to crown. And as you exhale, bring that right hand forward. Heather, you're really, really late. Forward and across to the other arm. Yeah, you got it, Jen. So, hi, Heather. We're really already started. So just catch up as best you can. Don't worry about explaining because I'm recording. So, and then we're just going to coil down, drop the chin in, round through the spine and breathe into the back heart. Breathe into the back body. Those hands have a nice, fairly firm grip on those knees so we can really open up the back heart and back shoulders. One more inhale or exhale. Next inhale, begin to come out of there, straightening the back, keep the elbows locked into each other and then bring the back of the hands towards each other. And if you can bind the arms completely, bringing the soles of the hands together. And then just gently squeezing those forearms together. It doesn't matter if you don't quite make it, right? Just back of hands if you don't, or complete bind if you can. Squeezing the forearms together and pulling them very gently away from the face And as you do that, you'll feel a response in the back shoulder blades. So just, you know, working within your limits and to your limits. And breathe. And if you like the sensation and you want a little bit more out of it, you coil back in, dropping the elbows towards your belly button and just round gently through the spine and breathe once again into the back body. My cat is just loving this yoga session. She's very passionate. And then on an inhale, as you're ready, come straight back up, straighten up, and the exhale is going to release those arms out, hands just to each knee, and just a little play, a little release. And then we're just going to swap the legs out. So cross the other leg over. I'm very passionate about my animals. That's one of my sideline passions. Oh, someone got jealous. All right, so we're going to have the hands out again, spine nice and straight. Lengthening up on the inhalation from tail to crown. And then another inhale as we reach that left arm up. And as we exhale, we bend over to the left-hand side. Pin down that right sit bone, that right buttock thigh, and allow the pouring of the right side like a fountain, lifting up and overshooting out. So breathing into the right ribs, right shoulders, relaxing through the shoulder, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And taking one more breath to really open up all those areas. Inhale. And as you exhale, reaching that right hand to the left knee. And the next inhale is just the lengthening of the spine. You're already in a half twist. And then the exhalation as we take that left hand behind us, look over that left shoulder and settle a little more deeply into the twist. Just be aware of what's going on. Hey, I'm recording, love. Stop that. Lengthen up on another inhale through the midline, through the spine. And use that next exhalation to perhaps deepen or simply soften. The softening will be the deepening. So I recommend you go directly to softening as opposed to deepening. They go hand in hand like passion and purpose. So one more inhale as you lengthen up from tail to crown. And as you exhale, taking that left hand across to the right knee. Take an inhale as we lengthen up again through the spine and let that exhalation melt us down, rounding through the spine and then dropping our chin in towards our chest, our tail tucking in and under. Grabbing hold of those knees with our hands, breathing into the back body, into the back heart. And then when you're ready, use an inhalation to ride up the spine again, bringing the arms up with your elbows still locked, and then drawing the back of the hands together, and if it's possible, the palms of the hands together. And once you're there, you can begin to just gently lift the elbows, squeeze the forearms together, and gently, gently pull them away from the face. And just, you can close your eyes here and really feel into the subtlety of that and not go beyond what is recommended by the body. Use the breath as the the next stage to help you deepen or soften. The breath in itself will do that. The inhalation to really open up the inner body. The exhalation, if you want to go deeper, to coil down, drawing the elbows towards the navel and rounding through the spine, tucking the chin in towards the chest. It's almost like squeezing the buttocks, but really shooting that tail under, like hooking it under, so your whole spine is in a flexion. Breathe into your back body again. And then your next inhale rides back up. And the exhalation is releasing the arms, placing them on the knees and just allowing the afterglow of the practice to soak into the body, to recalibrate. Taking a couple of nice deepened breaths in. And then just allowing any natural spontaneous flow or movement. Any unwinding of your own body. And then as you're ready, we come back to restorative. So this time we're going to take the bolster and place it, well, we can get rid of the blocks if you've got my setup or just whatever's working for you over there. And we're going to place the bolster or your rolled or folded blanket long ways. I'm going to, this is a thick blanket, so I'm going to unfold it a little bit and just have it like this. You can have still something under your bum, whether that's just a flat cushion or something like that. Once you start seeing my setup, you'll understand. I'm going to put even this little one here and then a bigger one here, because this is quite a big opening for the heart. I'm going to sit on my blanket and then I'm going to lie over my bolster or my folded piece or my rolled blanket or whatever it is that you've got going on. So my chest, the breast area is on the bolster, not my lower back, for sure, but not my lower ribs either. So it's really the chest, breast, shoulder blade area, really opening there. But I want to lean over the bolster. So my chin is lifted and my head has been thrown back. Now be careful if you have any neck issues. So if you've got neck issues, you're maybe not throwing your head so far back. But whatever you do, neck issues or no neck issues, please be fully supported. So a rolled blanket or your cushion really tucked in underneath the base of the skull. So then when you allow your head to tip back, your neck is fully supported. The arms are in now like a crucifix style on the top end of the bolster, the head end of your bolster. This can cause tingling and numbing sensations after a while. So as we stay here, I want you to know that if you start getting a lot of pulsing, tingling, or numbing, please just bring your hands to your heart and your arms to rest on the bolster until all of it subsides. And then you can choose when you come back into it, and then it may ramp up again and then you might come out again. So just know that that sensation is not really useful. We don't want to hold the body in that situation for very long. So just modify and address these issues as they arise. You can have your feet on the floor with the knees bent, keeping your tail nice and long or tucked or, lengthening so that the lower back is nice and long. If there's absolutely no pinching in your lower back, you can straighten one leg and then the other. I really like it if you zipped your legs up as if they're in a really tight sleeping bag. And the balls of your big toes are lined up, touching each other. The heels, not so much. They can be about an inch apart. And then we have this feeling of zipping the legs up. If you had a strap, you could strap your feet or your legs so you don't have to think about it. But I get lazier and lazier with props and strapping. My Iyengar days are really beginning to fade away. And I just hold myself in position rather than have something hold me. But that is definitely an option if you like the sound of that. As you get comfortable in this, I'd like you just once again to begin to flesh out the breath in the chest. Here you might begin to notice restrictions, not just in the heart area, but in the shoulders, in the greater region around the heart space. So we're also beginning to really try and breathe out that tension and that holding. As you breathe into the whole chest, shoulder area, please make sure that your face is relaxed and open, passively receiving the breath as well. So begin to explore the depth of your breath. And where there is resistance with that, particularly within the torso, shoulder, neck, head area. And once you feel, and if you feel that there is some give in that you begin to feel a sense of openness and flow, I invite you to begin to do this breathing action as if we breathe from the heart, the inhalation, coming from the heart and traveling the inner body into the head. And the exhalation from the head, traveling in the inner body back to the heart. And I just want us to get this beautiful flow and pathway from the heart to the head and from the head to the heart, aligning our head and the heart. Then as you're ready, you can really just let any direction go, just let it go and allow just the sense of being present with whatever is naturally arising now for you. And after one last full breath in and out, you can bring your hands into the heart, so the arms come onto the bolster. You might like to lift your chin to look over at your feet, and then you can just begin to push the arms into your bolster or however you want to get up nice and safely. If there's anything that you need to do, though I do things in super slow mo, if there's any movement you need to do. Otherwise, my suggestion is to simply turn. You know, I'm going to leave my setup actually as it is. Just fancy that for myself today, and I'm going to place my knees over the bolster, and as I lie down on this, I'm just going to make sure that the blanket comes to sit to my lower ribs, my lower back ribs. So the small of my back, the arch of my back is being supported by the blankets, and where the ribs, the back ribs naturally deepen into the floor, then they go into the floor, but the rest of the lower back can be supported by a blanket. If you want that set up, you don't have to. Maybe you just want the bolster under your knees, and you might like a little something under your head. I'm actually going to leave it because I love that little, my little head pillow under my legs there, and I'm just going to open my arms up. Please cover your body if you need to stay nice and warm. Close the eyes and soften the features of your face. Take a few conscious breaths. They might just want to be conscious. You might be drawn to really deepening the breath, and if you are, let's try and feed the fullness of the body with the breath now, rather than focusing just on the heart area, the chest area, but to begin to open that fullness, that open, expanded feeling into and throughout the body. If you prefer just natural breathing, that's also totally cool. Just consciously breathe. And any small adjustments that are required while we continue to breathe deeply or consciously deeply into and throughout the body. And you'll know yourself when you're ready just to drop everything, to drop all direction, directing anything, trying to achieve anything. Just let it all go when you're ready and begin to drop more deeply into the experience of Shavasana, which to me is dropping deeply into the body experience and beyond. Though today's class is really about passion, really about connecting to our own passion, you might feel that passion still moving, flowing through the blood of your body. But here at this end point in class, I invite you to feel into that peaceful experience that could be emanating from the body, that can be the final product of passion. Rest here in peace. Just checking the features of your face. And once again, just making sure that the features are soft and open. At all the pieces of your body that connect to the floor beneath it, really release, relax back into the floor, into the earth. And here, if you do find that there still are some agitations that are holding you back from feeling that peace, from being that peace, from feeling that connection to your heart space, just seeing if some deepened exhalations can help just remove those last remaining pieces. And even if it's just for a moment, can you lie here in stillness with a clear, quiet mind and heart? Begin to find the breath again. Finding your inhalation and drawing it deep into and throughout the body. Breathing it down all the way into your arms and fingers, all the way down the legs into your toes. And reigniting your body, your passion for life, for movement, and for the evening ahead. You might like to allow your head to flow from side to side. You might like to bring it in a little bit of movement through your fingers, toes, wrists, and joints. Anything that feels nice, maybe a stretch of the head or a little hugging of the knees, dropping of the knees from side to side. Feel your way into waking again. And as you're ready, just you can roll onto one side. We come to sit again together. And I'd like you to bring your hands together into prayer, and then just take the thumb tips, keep them together, and swing the hands open and place them over your heart like little angel wings. Closing the eyes and gently bowing the head to the heart again. And don't press too firmly on your hearts. Just giving a little bit of sense of space so you can feel the heart energy, the beating of your heart, the flow of the electromagnetics. Just begin to try and really connect to these very real aspects of yourself. Again, you might like to take a couple of deep breaths into the heart space. Sense into that sense of passion, of excitement. What does that feel like in your body again, here in this seated upright position? And breathe it into all the cells of your body. So important we learn to be passionate about our life right now. If we're not, it's going to be very difficult to navigate the times ahead. So feel that joy of life, of living, of all that is possible for you, all that is possible for you to achieve the things that you love to do. Bringing your hands, if you like, back together into prayer at the heart center. Just taking a moment for deep gratitude for yourself, for this practice, for this life, and for the rich opportunities that life is giving us right now for extradental growth. I know I said that word wrong, it's not coming, but it's a really huge leap that we can all make. Thank you all for showing up. Namaste. Look forward to sharing the rest of this with you. So we shall see you next week.